Hey everyone, and welcome to Teacher in the Tesla, where yes, you guessed it, I am a teacher and yeah, I do drive a Tesla. And I have made many important financial decisions to get to where I am today, including starting a store on the e-commerce marketplace, Etsy. And my shop now has over 12,000 sales, which may or may not sound like a lot, but it does put my shop in the top 1% of all Etsy shops. Now you might say, well, who cares? Which I totally understand and I can definitely appreciate. But the point is that while I am a middle school teacher with zero training in marketing, branding, or creating products customers will want, I have still managed to make a significant income online from products that don't even exist and while literally sitting on my couch after my kids go to bed. It's pretty ridiculous, right? And despite this success, I've had so many friends and family members who are really struggling right now, where they've lost their jobs or had their hours so significantly cut that finances are a real concern. And while I'd love to go for coffee and meet each of them for lunch to help them out, there's this pesky virus right now which definitely complicates things. Oh, right. And I run a busy Etsy shop, and I am a mom of 2 young boys, and I volunteer significant hours to a charity I love. Did I mention I have a full-time job as a middle school teacher? So maybe you'll understand why you don't see my face in the videos just yet, as there's really nothing quite like having your students Google you online to see what else you do in your spare time and then bringing that to class for show and tell. Although I could be tempted to make videos with more than just photos and text when I hit 10,000 subscribers though. No, I'm not selling you anything and I'm not creating a course or even a free ebook. I do get that making money online sounds like a scam because many times these types of videos actually are. So what I am going to tell you is how much I made by having an Etsy shop this past year in 2020, month by month, and the yearly total profit. And not those scammy gross sale numbers, but the actual profit. So you can know what is possible. Even my close friends and family are still in shock over the income numbers from this past year. So yes, I sell items on Etsy, an e-commerce marketplace. But how is it I sell items that don't even exist? Well, the customer is purchasing an item based off a photo. The photo shows a design that I made and was photoshopped onto an item. The item isn't even actually made with a design on it yet. And you probably have purchased something like this too, and maybe you just didn't realize it. Essentially, I create designs that are then added to products, but these products are only produced with the design on it once the customer purchases the item. It's called print on demand. Now, actually, in 2020, I made a lot of profit, but everyone keeps asking, well, is it enough to quit your job? Well, perhaps, especially as I use the crazy opportunity of 2020 to learn much, much more about many more printers which make and ship my products, some of which provide the opportunity for much, much more profit and even ship the items I sell much, much faster. But I certainly didn't start off 2020 that way. To put things in perspective, in 2019, I made a profit of 12,000 Canadian dollars as I live in Canada, which $1,000 a month definitely isn't bad. $1,000 a month wasn't quite life-changing and sell everything and live on a private island life-changing, but it was already starting to have a big impact on the life of my family, and I certainly didn't scoff at that. But as you find out in e-commerce, 5,000 of that was made in December of 2019, or nearly 50% of my total profit for the entire year. Now, gross sales? Sure, they were very high. My gross sales were about 89,000. So as you can see, profits were actually small, very small. Gross sales are great, and usually what all the scammy ads about drop shipping and e-commerce show, 12,000 was the actual profit, nonetheless, which is pretty cool. So along came 2020, and what a year to say the least. There have been shipping delays of 6 to 8 weeks, item shortages, postal service delays, and still these were the least of the world's problems. For me, it all turned out okay. Here's the summary. January, I ran the business from, of all things, a cruise ship for 7 nights. Might have been the only person on a cruise in 2020, but hey. February, I just didn't add anything new. I was still recovering from the fatigue of late nights with customer service emails from December. March. Oh, March. Hold everything, turn off all the ads, turn off all the discounts, and just figure it out order by order and see what happens. Yes, I manually submitted and shipped the order from anyone out there that would ship it. April, I was adding new print-on-demand suppliers by the day and continually to add new items for the future. May, just tons of sales from all the new items I'd been adding. June, still growing and growing. July, I finally had turned on a discount and turned up ads a little bit, and wow, to have reached 4,000 in July was just crazy to me. I'd now added enough evergreen products that sell all the time and enough seasonal products for the summer to provide my customers with what they're looking for at this time. August. This is getting crazy. This was my highest month ever up to this point, and just a wee bit terrifying to start to think about finding enough time to deal with stock shortages from suppliers with back to school looming. But August was pretty amazing. September just stayed nice and consistent, and it worked out just fine. October. This is also somehow just like last year, where September and October had nearly equal gross sales numbers. November started off amazing. I had an extremely popular item right from the beginning of November, and sales hardly ever slipped less than 80 orders a day. And the sales numbers definitely show it, as this has been the highest month ever. December. The crazy thing with December is how many orders and sales there are, but they are crammed only into the first 2 weeks, with many days over $1,000 in profit, and I received the largest single payment I'd ever received from Etsy in a single week, the same week in which I made my gross monthly salary as a teacher in profit in a single week. It was relentless. I had to hire a friend to help with the email volume, and even turned off a discount for 2 days just to help manage the order volume when paired with the customer service requests. But wow. Why do I tell you these numbers? Because maybe if a teacher with zero graphic design experience, zero training in this, can do it with 2 kids, a family, a full-time professional career, and maybe 1 or 2 responsibilities, then maybe you can too. And I know this might all seem like luck, so hopefully in the future I can at least try to give some more insight into how I got here, but I felt like it wouldn't mean much if I didn't at least have a few stats to give some authority to what I'm saying. I've seen so many videos on YouTube, okay, let's be honest here, probably all of them, about selling on Etsy, selling online, print on demand, drop shipping, and the vast majority have sold very few items or never say what the actual profit was. I mean, hey, anyone can place Facebook ads for $1.5 million and make $5,000 and say they made $1.5 million. So yeah, I made 6 figures in my Etsy shop. And yes, I made $1,000 a day. Okay, some days. And I made $250,000 in gross sales. But really the truth is, what is the profit? So here's all the stats. The 2020 stats, the shop moved into the top 1% of all Etsy shops, $67,000 in profit, or $52,396 in US dollars, 5,966 orders, and $176,997,000 in US dollars in gross revenue. The shop also hit several milestones this year, including 1,000 5-star reviews, and then 10,000 sales since the shop had opened, and then an additional 1,000 5-star reviews since then. And I think I maybe only have 5 or 6 1-star reviews at this point, which is amazing. So will I quit my job? Well, as you can tell from the numbers, historically, I'm not quite at six figures in profit to justify leaving a pretty much guaranteed income from teaching at this point. And so while I won't be putting all my eggs in one basket with Etsy and actually backing away from the shop, if anything, I've started on Redbubble, growing my Shopify store, and I also plan to use my earnings to continue to grow my dividend stock portfolio so that no matter what happens to one endeavor, there are still several others to rely on. Now, do you have a shop on Etsy? And what do you want to learn the most about? Is it ads? Is it reviews? Is it products? Is it advertising? So please, though, in the meantime, do check out my next video, what you must know before you sell on Etsy, because there are definitely some things to think about to maximize your success for the long term. And these things tend to be what I need to spend the most time discussing with friends before they start their shops or online endeavors and passive income streams. So thanks again for listening if you made it this far, and cheers to your future success in health, finance, and anything else you'd like to improve in your life. Of course, it's always super cool if you like the video and subscribe so I can make more helpful or hopefully helpful content for you in the future. Cheers.